Rudo, Jesse, Blais, the match alive as the Avs officially clinched the playoffs.
I would like to say, I think this is turned into a winning formula for us. You guys did win in cause and I don't. And it seemed to carry good vibes forward. So keep it going. You guys are doing good shots.
There's no way you want to get into this. Like, we can't make this happen.
Blais, no, I do appreciate that, but I think I'm good.
This is it's in your contract. It's required to playoffs.
Wait, Rudo, apparently your audio stopped working. What did you do?
It looks like it's working. No, is everybody else?
Yeah, it's little. There you go. No, all of you guys are working, and it was working fine at the beginning.
Now you're contradicting what you just said. Is it working or is it
Like
not?
only yours is working.
No, speak out English.
I can hear you guys fine.
They can hear us.
No.
No, I'm not like.
Now we're looking at
Talk for me, people.
Can you hear us now?
Oh, we're working now. I can tell.
Yeah. Whoa.
Woo!
The Avs clinched so hard they broke our microphones. Avs win over the Pittsburgh Penguins for the second game in a row. Officially clinched with 12 games left
Yeah.
in the season. I can't remember the last time the Avs clinched this early. Did they clinch this early in 13-14? It must have been pretty close to this.
I don't think it was this close, though. I mean, this is unreal.
Yeah.
And plus, the West is just kind of after the Avs.
Right, but they haven't clinched it, but for
Yeah.
all purposes, they've essentially won the West.
Yeah.
It's a 15-point lead. I don't know if Calgary plays tonight or
Yeah,
not. But
and I went ahead and put $20 on them to win the West, and I should probably go put more. When I placed that bet, they were plus 150 before this game to win the West. That seemed unbelievably good, given the situation in the standings. Right,
it'd have to be a disaster for them not to.
Right. Like things would have to go pretty sideways for them, and someone else would have to get pretty hot.
I'm going to go there right now.
Go make a better.
See what it's at.
Anyway, honestly, not the banger of a hockey game that it was the other night against Pittsburgh, but still a very quality hockey game from the Avs. Obviously, final score reflecting that.
Yep.
I don't. Where do you want to start here? Do you want to start with the top end, Nathan MacKinnon scoring 2 goals, or do you want to start with the depth quality that the Avs got in this one?
Let's start with the depth.
Okay.
So we're going to go backwards.
Yeah, you have Darren Helm obviously scoring very late in the game, but you also got not just quality shifts, but quality offense out of multiple people.
Yep.
Newhook with a great play to Comfer for a goal.
Yep.
Lehkonen, less depth really, but gets the empty netter too. You're getting... It feels like you're starting to actually get a threat of offense from the Avs depth, even with the ridiculous number of players that are out of the lineup.
Well, and the one you left out, Josh Manson.
Yeah, Josh scored a goal too.
Josh Manson gets his first goal as an Av, and again, it's Bednar has talked about this a lot recently. The Avs are obviously they're getting historic production from the blue line, but when you dive into those numbers recently, to no one's surprise, a lot of that is coming from 7 and 8.
Yep.
Which is great. Like, you want that. You want your guys at the top. We've had that conversation in the past about the Avs, right? That you need the guys at the top to give you a little bit more. Well, their guys at the top on D are absolutely providing that. You get Byram back in the lineup, which I know we'll get to. You're starting to improve that defensive depth, and now someone like Josh Manson, who, if all things are going well, probably in the playoffs is, 4 or 5 guy.
Yep.
contributing for you offensively. He's not someone who did that a lot in Anaheim, so you're getting something extra there. And then, I made the joke. The best thing that's happened for Darren Helm's season has been the Avs trading for Andrew Cogliano.
Yep.
Darren Helm's been money
since the
trade deadline.
Yep.
Within the context of who Darren Helm is in
Sure,
his role.
sure.
But, scores a goal tonight on a nice shot. I mean, 3 times now this year that he's kind of like the anti-O'Connor, where O'Connor can get there and he just can't finish. Helm can't get there, but if he gets there,
He's putting it in.
he can put it in the net.
Well, you've seen he's got some finishing skills on him.
Yeah. So it's just you trust. You have to trust that your top guys are going to get it done with some level of regularity, especially when you get into the playoffs and you look back at what type of playoff performer Nathan MacKinnon's been, what type of playoff performer Mikko Rantanen's been. You have to have faith that they are going to provide that. So being able to get, that the depth is what I think ultimately sunk them against Vegas. Your top guys got kind of slowed down, locked up.
Yep.
You needed someone else to push through. They didn't get enough of that. On a night like tonight, it gives you
confidence that you can. You get that, from, honestly, on a night like tonight, you got it from everywhere.
Yep.
And again, we say this every show, but the depth is only going to get better as the Avs start to get guys back. So it was exciting here, but more to come, I imagine, for this hockey team. Blais, how do we feel about BYRAM'S first game back?
Thought he looked great out there. Had a few chances. Looks a little rusty. Doesn't look up to game speed right now, but you gotta feel good for the guy. I know he took a pretty hard hit in the corner. It didn't look like it phased him at all.
Yep.
He still has that jump. Still just a 20-year-old kid out there just flying around having fun.
For sure. It's he had a couple of moments, I think, definitely, where you're like, yeah, that's Bowen BYRAM. Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
We'll see how it rounds out over the next 2 weeks or whatever. But right now, it really does feel like a lot of things are clicking very, very well for Colorado at the moment. And we'll see. There's, 3 weeks of regular season, 3.5 weeks of regular season left that they have to get through. But especially now with that X next to their name, it feels like, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's get to the playoffs here.
Yeah. We've talked a lot about it. There's different benchmarks. There's different milestones that you hit throughout the season. First one's usually American Thanksgiving. Then it's Christmas.
Yep.
Then it's All-Star break. Then it's trade deadline. And now to your point, Rudo, once you start clinching those playoff spots, it's no longer Jared Bednar has really impressed me. He's spoken all year in terms of we've got to get there first. We got to get in first. We got to make sure that, we take care of business and,
You're in now.
Done with that. Yeah. Now, I don't think this team is going to start looking ahead too much. That's not what they've done now for several years. But, there is a little bit of that just kind of internally where it's like, okay, now we're in.
Yep.
You're probably going to win the division. You're probably going to win the West. Who gives a fuck about the President's Trophy? You're in, and now it is time to start really shifting that gear.
Yeah. Find it and take it to the playoffs, but not to get too far ahead of ourselves there. It's just clinched so far.
Right.
They haven't won anything, though. If they don't win the West, it'll be truly, truly shocking. For this game, what is it about Nathan MacKinnon in a game like this? Because I think you saw both sides of it. He made great plays. That first goal goes in directly off of a Penguins stick.
Yeah.
Is that... It does feel like the Avs have been on the wrong side of puck luck for a lot of this season. The last 5, 6, 7 games feels like bounces are starting to go their way, right?
Yeah.
So... does that matter to you, or is that just you take them when you get them?
That's just something that happens, right? That's puck luck. It comes and goes. I will say, though, on the Nathan MacKinnon front, he looked great tonight. And the one thing that I was talking about is when he doesn't try to do everything himself and uses the team around him, it's when he's playing his best. And when he actually scores more goals is when he's basically being a distributor of the puck, because when you're the best player on the ice, guess what happens? You get that puck back, right?
Yeah.
Like, you just move to open ice and get some shots on net. And I mean, tonight I thought he played really well.
So Blais, Rudo, I know you played baseball growing up and stuff. Everyone knows that guy on their team, that kid on their team is the best one, right? The best player out there. And when things start to go poorly for your team, a lot of times those individual players at young age can be like, well, fine, I'm just going to do it myself. And they get frustrated. And yeah, they're really good and they make good plays and stuff, but it usually doesn't result in much net positive for the team. I think that's kind of the point you're making with Nathan MacKinnon when he's deciding, hey, I have guys out here that I can distribute to. I have guys that I can move the puck to. It's not 2 years ago where all of this falls on me. He's more dynamic because he draws people in. I mean, the goal he scored, the second goal he scored, looking off that EJ pass, he is a threat to make that pass. He is a threat to distribute. So you have two guys jump into that lane to try to pick up the pass going the other way, and then this is where he gets to skill it up, right?
Yeah.
As Tyson Nash would refer to it. Where he looks that off and it's like, oh, you guys all bit, and now I can just wire this by your goaltender because I'm a top 10 shooter in the league. Like,
Got him.
yeah, and it's just...
Well, and that play comes after, and obviously the pass didn't connect. It ended up being a Nathan MacKinnon goal. But MacKinnon makes a great play to get a puck through a guy to Mikko for the first goal, and whatever happens after that. But when you make plays like that, all of a sudden the other team goes, oh shit, this guy's passing tonight. So being able to do both sides of the play, which MacKinnon absolutely can, it's undefendable, basically.
Yeah.
Well, and let me ask you guys, do you think that I feel like he's looked more like that this year than at any other point. And I think it's because this is one of the first times he's looking around and was like, shit.
These guys are pretty good.
I don't have to do it all myself. Like, I've got Andre Burakovsky, who for my money is a top 3 shooter in the league. Pure shot. Mikko Rantanen, who's maybe the best left winger in the game. Right wing, left, right?
He plays
on the right.
He plays
right?
the right usually.
Yeah,
with
maybe the
Landy
best
on
right
left,
winger in the game. Cale Makar, maybe marching towards being the best player in the league, right? Devon Taves isn't bad either. And so, like, you're looking around if you're Nathan MacKinnon, and it's like, I got a lot of options. I got a lot of places to distribute the puck. And, yeah, he's a pretty good puck distributor as well. So, it's interesting.
You're seeing, and I think last year especially, you started to see Nathan MacKinnon proved that you could put anybody on his wings and he could make them productive. This year, you're seeing if you put other productive players with Nathan MacKinnon, it's actually stupid. So, how do you defend that? Well, you don't, is the answer there. So, MacKinnon is doing silly things. Someone in chat said he's got 117 points in his last 82 games or something, like an actually ridiculous pace.
Well, and that's my favorite part. The narrative around him all year has been, what's wrong with Nathan MacKinnon?
Yeah. Can't score.
Nothing. He's got 26 goals now, I think, after tonight. He had 3 through the first, 20 games of the year or something.
Why wouldn't you want to be a more dynamic player that has more threats to their game, right? Like,
yeah.
Oh, you're stopping him from scoring, but now you have to worry about him making, elite passes to players and making that whole line better. I mean, it's just one of those things that you want to be is like, sure, take this part of my game away. Guess what? We're still going to beat you a different way.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch. I'll put it that way for sure. The Avs are disgustingly talented. And again, no Gerard, no Landy, no Kadri, no Nichushkin, and they're this talented. It's ridiculous.
Your second line is gone.
Yeah. Your second line tonight was 3 dudes who don't normally play on your second line.
Well, dude, I mean, you seriously could put together with the guys that the Avs were missing tonight. You could put together what most teams in the league would take as a starting 5.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Landy, Kadri, and Nichushkin, which we saw roll as a second line for a couple weeks.
And then Gerard.
And then Gerard.
And it's
right.
Up
Yeah.
until today, it was BYRAM as the other D.
Right,
So,
right, right.
you
It's like,
know,
yeah. I can think of a lot of teams that'd be like, can we just take those 5 and play them 25 minutes a game?
That's our first line. That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is fun to watch, I will put it that way. We are brought to you by Breckenridge Brewery, the official beer of DNVR. Highly recommend you go and get yourself an Avalanche. A lot of goals in this game, but not 2 in the first period from the Avs. So you don't get your free beer, but when the Avs do score 2 goals in the first period, go to breckbrew.com. Hit up their 2 for a brew promotion. Keep your receipt when you buy Breck Brew and get a free brew on them. So jump on that offer, make sure you're doing that, and come down to the bar and have some delicious Breck brews. Also brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. When you sign up for code DNVR, you can get amazing odds boosts every single day. The March Madness one is over. I'm actually not sure what their current promotion is. They haven't updated it yet. Apparently, there's a big promotion on the Masters. So if you're a golf person, get in there, put the DNVR code in. I'm sure Tiger's one of them.
For Tiger to make the cut, it's at -105. And everyone that he's tried out, he's made the cut every time.
All right, so apparently Tiger Woods is even money to make the cut, and he's never missed the cut in his life. So go get some money with DraftKings. Of course, you can also bet on the Avs, bet on the Nuggets, bet on whatever you want. I've been watching the
maybe
World
don't
Dart
bet on the Nuggets
Championships
tonight.
again.
I did.
Still young.
Parlay.
Game's still young.
It is. It's true.
Sorry, Rudo. You said you bet on what?
I bet on the World Darts Championship at the Lakeside.
Who won it?
How'd that go?
It's not over yet.
Oh.
That's so. You guys know my dart betting strategy, right? I know chat does. No. All right.
Try to get a bullseye?
All you have to do to make money on darts, because they play like a bunch of rounds a day, right?
Right.
So you watch them and you find the guy that like he throws his darts and then he's constantly being super frustrated. You bet against him the entire night and you will win money every single time.
Wait, so you're watching these like highlights?
I'm watching live.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And some of the players, especially the ones that like are losing, get super animated and frustrated, and you're like, that guy's head is not in the game. He's
Done.
gonna lose.
Yeah.
And you make a ton of money that way.
Have you guys ever
guaranteed.
watched any of the pro cornhole
Yes.
on
Yes,
ESPN?
yes.
Those guys, like,
Actually insane.
look, make fun of it being on ESPN all you want. Those dudes are legit.
If you can throw 3 beanbags in a row into a hole 20 feet away from you, then
Right.
you deserve to get paid for that.
Yeah.
Like,
Dude, they're so good. Side note, the Maple Leafs blew a 5-1 lead to the
they lost
Panthers.
an OT.
And
Oh, did the Panthers another comeback win?
They don't comeback wins against the
Another
Leafs don't
comeback
count.
win.
Comeback Leafs wins against the Leafs don't count.
Didn't they just came back this weekend too, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah,
they were
against the
down,
Devils. They were down
4-1.
6-2.
Oh, it was 6-2. That's right. It was
in the
4-1
third,
and 6-2.
That team is coming out of the East.
Claude Giroux, first goal as a Panther.
Good for him.
Now,
Lekkonen too.
yeah,
Avalanche.
it was Lucky's first, an empty netter, but nonetheless, good to see him
In
get
less
on the board.
games, right? Because of all the BS that went on with his immigration.
Yeah,
papers.
yeah. I mean, missed a bunch of games for sure.
Damn, he
but-
made a sick play. The goal
Dumped
was
him.
the goal was a backdoor tap in, but he made a real cute little play right before.
got him.
It's on the give and go. So sick.
So to watch
is good podcasting.
not safe for work Claude Giroux highlights or to be on DraftKings, you must be 21 or older, Colorado only. Other terms, restrictions, and conditions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Of course, if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. Also, if you already have tickets to the Avs game on April 16th, Party bus only tickets available now. You can get tickets just to ride the bus to and from the game with us. You can't sit in our section, obviously, but you can be there. You can hang out with us. We have an intermission booth that we'll all be vibing at, so you can come down and hang out at intermissions with us at the game. And, of course,
Unless your tickets are in our section.
if you happen to have tickets in section 120,
then you can
yeah.
sit with us.
But, you can come back to the bar after the game. We'll have a good time. It'll be dope.
Yeah.
So should be fun. Yeah, the Avs did complete the season sweep of the Penguins, which, can I just say, it's absurd that the Avs' first game against the Penguins was in April.
Yeah.
I guess it was March 31st,
I
technically.
mean,
but
talk about scheduler, doing a few things there. Same with the Oilers games, right? Like all the Oilers games are at the end of the season. 'Cause
Yeah.
they want those matchups.
they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing, trying to pull the fans in.
It is intentional, and that was my beef earlier. Where did my big smudge come from? Yeah, it's very intentional. They know what they're doing. With 12 games to go, the Avs are now 2 wins shy of the franchise record.
That is a great question, Derek. I don't know what time the bus leaves.
If you haven't seen the bus, you should go and see Ryan Green's video that he just
of
did
the
with
Nuggets
the
bus, or
Nuggets
the Rapids
and
bus,
Rapids.
either one.
Both of them are awesome.
I'm assuming the bus will get us there with ample time. If all right, so Yahir's telling us it leaves an hour before the game. I'm sure if you bought tickets for the bus, we have sent you an email that tells you when the bus leaves. But I don't actually know for sure. Anyway, second period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook.
Is this song on the TV, or is the Nuggets game just not going well?
I think it's the
Okay,
commercial.
all right. I was like, damn. They turned the sound off for this.
You've talked about it from the Bednar perspective of the Avs are in now. Do the players feel this too, or do they wake up in a couple days and say it's just another hockey game?
Yes to both.
Okay.
I do. Like, I think it, again, it's just, and I know this is a lot of like cliche stuff, but again, like teams that have done this before, right? They know that signifies that the next part of the season is about to start. Again, you hit these different benchmarks throughout the year, and now you've clinched a playoff spot. You're in. The next one is knowing who you're going to play. And it's just all about how you ramp up your mindset and ramp up your play. So there's that. But then I think on the other side of that, them being a veteran team, they don't let themselves go too far into that. Again, and they ended up going on to have a good playoff run. But the game 82, everyone remembers the dog pile, on the ice and all that. And it's just like there is just a different mentality. Now it's just business as usual. I made the comment to one of you guys, I don't remember what game it was, Minnesota. When Minnesota won in overtime, beat the Avs in overtime, I said, just watch the way that each team reacted to goals in the third period. Minnesota scored, and they're jumping into the glass. All 5 guys are coming, screaming over everyone, headbutts for everybody, high fives for everyone, pounding on the glass. The Avs scored 2 goals to get back in that game. It's like fist bump to the bench. Let's fucking go get another one.
Yep.
There is just a difference in the mindset. The Avs look every night like they expect to score and they expect to win. And now you're at a point where I'm going with all this is like they look like they expected to be here. They were happy after the game. They all go through the line, but nope, we expected to be here. We're here, and now it's time to ramp it up again without getting too carried away. So I think there is a little bit of both, if that made sense.
I mean, it makes sense to me. Blais, you were saying the Avs are, was it 9-1 in their last 10? Was that what we came to?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not exactly sure. I haven't counted, but it's somewhere around there. So I think they are around 9-1 in their last 10 games. An improvement on the last stretch of the 10 games where they were amazing as well. So you're starting to see them just put things together. Even when people think that they're having a bad stretch, it gets erased real quickly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And like you said, does that change now that they've clinched a spot? And I agree with you. I don't think that changes at all. The way that they're approaching the season, they're 8-2.
8-2, apparently.
Okay. Yeah.
Pretty close.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah, very good. But I mean, from last year, they understand this is business as usual, and they've got to get ready because it's whatever for the rest of the year. It is truly what happens in the playoffs with the Avalanche this year.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yep.
It really, really is. And it's still fun to watch. You're certainly in a spot where right now the Avs are a joy to watch almost every single night.
Absolutely.
I think even in some of these games they've lost, like the Minnesota game, you looked at that game and you're like, team's pretty good. I don't know.
Right.
There hasn't been any lack of hey, they're not paying attention to the game.
Right.
They've been playing good, and sometimes that just happens in hockey. We've talked about it before where the team that's the better team loses just because of what happens during a hockey game.
Yeah. And one of my favorite things that Bednar has said this year, in regards to the team and how they played, and I think it was after the Arizona loss, the second Arizona loss.
Yeah.
Where he said, like, look, I'm not here to just judge this team based off results.
For sure.
that exact reason, Blais. Hockey is unique among the 4 major sports in that happens. The better team loses more often in hockey than in any other sport. In the NFL, Tom Brady's teams win on most weekends. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And obviously, you know what I mean when I say that. And the Jacksonville Jaguars lose on most weekends.
Yep.
The New York Jets lose on most weekends. The fucking NBA had a Golden State team that I don't even think lost double-digit
10
games. Yeah, 1 year. That doesn't happen in the NHL. You have very, very good teams. I think the best regular season ever, the team still lost over 20 games.
Which, by the way, if the Avs play 500 hockey the rest of the season, they will only have 20 regulation losses on the year.
Right.
So
yeah, which crazy,
insane,
bananas. But he said, I judge our team based off of our process.
Yeah. Yep.
And now it's a little bit of a luxury he has, given how the standings are. Like, Vegas doesn't give a fuck about
they
process
only care
right
about
now.
wins right now.
Yeah, results are all that matters. But but again, it just does kind of go back to this team growing, this team learning from past experiences and growing together. Last year, and I've talked about this a lot on the show, so I apologize for being redundant, but I remember specifically Bednar talking about the President's Trophy was a goal for us and for our guys.
Yep.
We wanted to win that. They don't care.
Yep.
He has literally said, Jared Bednar himself, we don't care. It means nothing.
Yep.
We learned that last year. It means nothing. They are focused on the playoffs and making sure that their game is being executed at the level and the way they want it to at all times. That's what they care about. Are we playing our best hockey every single night, and do we trust that we can carry that process forward into the playoffs? And it is really hard to point at the last 5 months, 4 months, and say that you don't feel pretty confident that whatever hurdle gets put in front of them, that they are going to be able to answer to it. Crazy things happen in the playoffs. The emotion is on a different level. The intensity is on a different level. Never know what's going to happen, but they are just playing so consistent that, like you said, even in games where they lose, it's like they look pretty good.
Well, and that's why they have a 7-game playoffs, right? Like, because of
the
variables that happen. So it's like, are you truly the better team?
Yeah.
Here's 7 games.
Anyone
figured
can
out.
To prove it,
Some
yeah.
fluky shit can happen in one game.
Yeah.
If you get fluked out in 4 games, it might not have been a fluke.
Yeah, unless it's Columbus that 1 year.
Even then.
No way, they were the better team.
Like-
that was unreal the way they played during.
They outplayed Tampa for sure.
Yeah.
Well, and let's not kid ourselves. That year, Columbus was not your normal 8 seed.
That's a great point. Yeah, that's a great point.
That was a team that added like crazy at the deadline. So
That was one of my favorite moves like an NHL team has ever pulled. Like, we're on the fringes, but everyone's walking instead of selling. We're going for it.
And people throw around the term all in
Yeah.
at the deadline all the time. That's a real all in.
That is all in.
Yeah.
Well, and just real quick tangent on this. Conventional wisdom is you're going to lose your UFAs, trade them, get something for them. And I love that maybe for the only time like in the history of the NHL, you had a GM
Who said nope?
say no
I'm
and
gonna
just
go get more of them.
pull them out and say, I'm going to fucking do this and I'm going to go get more pending UFAs and hope that we can just go on a miracle run. And they almost did. That was awesome.
It was dope. It was genuinely a great watch. A lot like the Avs are right now. Our king of the game, obviously, is Nathan MacKinnon. He has a 2-goal night. He was playing like a baller. I genuinely don't know what to tell you. If you don't think Nathan MacKinnon is a top 3 player in the world, I think you're just wrong. Yeah, that's
who else? Who else? So it's him, McDavid, and
Makar.
I don't think it's Makar yet. I think
No.
it will be.
Yes.
The third spot, I think you could give it to Crosby. I know people will be mad about it, but I think you could convince me it's Draisaitl.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I guess Matthews.
Right now, Matthews.
Yeah, gets Yeah.
I don't think he quite gets
I'm
up
with
there.
you. I'm with you.
No.
But I'm just saying in terms of
Best shot in the game right now? Sure. Best
Right.
player?
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, I mean his defensive side, but that's not what you're
Right,
playing that
right.
guy for.
And you're having the same conversation as Draisaitl there.
Yeah.
Like, you know what the score is, but
But yeah, I just, to me, man, I don't know. Nathan MacKinnon, for my money, he's the best. He's the best player in the league.
Yep.
And it's because of what we saw in the Matt Dumba fight. Not that he fights. It's
Just
not
the
what I'm
passion.
saying. But it's the passion and that physical edge to his game where he says, I'll go around you, I'll go by you, or I'll go right fucking through you. I do not care. And Connor McDavid, Austin Matthews, even Sidney Crosby, they just don't have that. They don't have that element where he's, physically imposing. I've said it now for a few years. To me, Nathan MacKinnon is like the perfect hybrid of Sidney Crosby and Alex Ovechkin. He's got the mean side. He's got a heavy shot. But as we saw tonight, he's got the skill. He's got the finesse. He's obviously got the hands. He's a different type of player that he's different from the stereotypical 1C high-end skill. He's got just a different edge to his game that you don't see a lot.
I agree. He's definitely a bull in a china shop sometimes. In a way that Crosby has never been.
It's like fire and ice.
Yeah, and like I'm sure Avs fans will be mad, but if you take Crosby's peak in skill, I think it's probably higher than MacKinnon's.
Oh, dude, Sidney Crosby's the best player that's ever owned skates.
I think you're right until McDavid takes that crown.
Yes, yes. As of right now today, I still stand by
it's
that.
Crosby right now. I agree with that.
But McDavid may be coming for it.
If he ever gets out of Edmonton.
My voice text just activated. Should I send this text to Hannah?
Just your
it's just
pod read.
yeah, it's just my opinion on Crosby.
Send.
Okay, let's do our Dr. Dubs prescriptions here.
Oh, here we go. Just the two of us.
Yeah, the two of us in chat. Drink up, chat. This is like a big shot.
Yeah.
Proud of you guys. Is that Jaeger?
Yep. You don't like Jaeger?
Oh no, I don't like Jaeger.
What's wrong
with you? I'm not 17 drinking it out of a water bottle.
Obviously, you never played hockey before.
It is the official shot of the NHL.
It sure is.
It is, and most men's league hockey teams on the road.
Pass. Pass every time. Throw me another beer. Pass.
All right. Our sponsor of the Party Bus is Avaca TV, where you can watch the Avalanche. So jump on that right now. Way cheaper than DirecTV, just $25 a month for Avaca. And, they actually have altitude, so they've got Comcast Beat. That's an easy W. It comes in a little box. You just hook it up to your television like a normal cable box. You do have to have an internet connection, but you're good to go. You get altitude. You get AT&T Sports Network. Rockies opening day on Friday. By the way, come join us at the Ice House. I'm doing a little opening day party with the Rockies people. It's going to be dope. Really looking forward to that. Also, it's got national channels, so you can literally watch Rockies, Nuggets, Avs, and Broncos all on Avaca TV here in the Denver area. So for $25 a month, that's a pretty darn good deal to not have to jump through sportsurge.com and or NHL 66 IR or other options. So either way, go check out Avaca. You can go to avaca.tv/DNVR to get signed up today. That's evoca.tv/DNVR. And then when you're watching Avaca and you want to get couch locked, go on over to Lightshade. Get your THC needs so you can be real high on the couch watching sports. They also got CBD products, specifically Wana sleep aids, which I really like because it takes me forever to get to sleep without them. They're just a little thing you take. 1-to-1, I believe, is the THC CBD ratio. Blais was correct the other week.
That is correct.
So you can go get them. You take them. It takes 10 minutes for them to activate. And then you get sleepy and you go to bed, and it's great because you're not sitting there in bed for 90 minutes awake. So
they brought over some topical cream.
Yeah.
I've been using that. Oh, yeah. I use that before I play hockey. It is awesome.
Bro, it for real.
Like on my wrist.
Yeah,
My wrist
no,
was jacked up.
I had never gotten any of the topical stuff because I was like, I don't know if it even works. Bro, my neck was a little stiff. Put that shit on. Seriously, like for real. I looked at Hannah at one point. I was like, my neck doesn't hurt.
Well, the stuff that they dropped off was their stuff, and it's like usually when you buy those bottles, it's like 100 milligrams, 100 milligrams. This was 300 milligrams with 300 milligrams. It's like it's a bigger jar.
Dense.
You get a good amount.
Yeah.
So there you go. Go on over to Lightshade to get 25% off your order when you use code DNVR. So jump on that. Any of their 11 locations at, well, I guess there's some of them are in Aurora, but most of them are in the Denver metro. So go check them out. They're dope. We love them. Third period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. We got some super chats to get to. $2 from Trevor. I really feel like Kemps can win us a cup. Yeah, I thought he was good tonight. The one goal, you maybe like to see him give up a better rebound on the first goal that he gives up, but for the most part, another super solid night from him. He ended up with like 35, 36 saves, I think.
I mean, he hit
the bet
he hit
easily,
the bet like in the
Which
first
is
part
all
of the
that
third.
matters.
Yeah.
No, but then like you say
That
that,
is
and
to
like
me.
I thought he played really well. Again, garbage time minutes, goals.
Yeah, who cares, right?
Who cares about those? And then the other one too, Devon Taves has no business putting his stick in between his legs.
Oh, dude.
I mean, I understand what he's trying to do, but he knocked that puck into the net.
Very much so.
Where if he didn't put his stick in there, Kemper closes his legs. Who knows what happens to that puck?
Like Kemper was closing his legs as he knocks it in. It's like, if Kemper shuts his legs and Taves doesn't touch that, at worst it's going to be inconclusive.
Right.
$2 from Alex. Avs had Kadri on the ice tonight wearing 43.
So I won't lie. When I first read that, I was like, Kadri did not play this game because he wore 43 in Toronto.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, they didn't. They sure didn't. But then
It clicked.
You got there.
I got there.
You got there. The wheels started turning a little bit there.
The wheels, not the doors. The wheels started.
The wheels.
Definitely
Lots
the
of wheels.
Yeah,
in the
that's
head.
right.
Yeah, I mean, we already talked about it, but Darren Helm's game has really stepped it up over the last 10 or so games.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Your position gets threatened on the ice, and all of a sudden you start playing a little bit harder. Like, maybe this isn't a cakewalk for me.
Yeah.
We'll have this conversation after the super chats here, but $5 from our Moisters. Pair character doing a classic mic drop. Thank you for the $5 super sticker. Much appreciated. $5 super chat from Dylan. Way to go, new guys, Manson and Leck. The bodies hit the floor with goals. I think that's what that says. Yeah, it is.
Yep.
All right. Cogliano with the diving clear late. Solid stuff.
We haven't
Sacrifice the body.
Yeah,
bro.
we have not given enough love to that play. That was a great play from Cogliano.
Yep. Obviously, hope he's okay.
Right. Again, that's fucking playoff veteran stuff, dude. Like, you've got to make those plays. You got to get the puck out late. And yeah, he took a pretty nasty, looked like shin, knee to the face, head area.
Yeah, and a skate to the midsection. I mean, those are brutal when you go down like that, but that's what you got to do.
Right.
Full commitment.
Made the play.
Yep.
$2 from Ryan. Avs kicked out of the face-off per 60, way down thinking pace.
But still getting kicked out.
They were. With too much regularity, it felt like.
It must be the system that the Avs are teaching on the face-offs. Like, they must be super aggressive. I don't know what it is.
I genuinely wonder if they literally just tell their guys, look, if you're the first guy in the dot, just cheat.
Yeah.
Just cheat.
Yeah.
Because they'll throw you out X%, but you'll win the rest of them. So just cheat, and if you get thrown out, then we'll deal with it.
I still, and I wish there was somewhere that kept these numbers, I contest that Carl Soderberg got kicked out of more faceoffs than like any player in NHL history. That dude got booted 75% of the time, it felt like.
With Soderberg, I felt
right
like
there on
at
him.
the end, but Kadri's like really good in the faceoff dot. With Soderberg, it feels like he steps up to take a faceoff, realizes he sucks at it, and is just like, if I get thrown out, I don't have to take it.
He's just like trying to get thrown out, putting the stick out, trying to catch it from the ref.
$5 from Austin. GG, just a heads up with the bets, fellas. The Avs winning the West refers to winning the Western Conference in the playoffs, not just the regular season.
So I had that thought when I went back and looked at it because it says Western Conference winner, and I was like, that is worded a little funny.
I feel like it's still good odds.
Yeah.
I took it either way.
Who in the West are the Avs afraid
I
of?
saw that too. I know what you're talking about. When I looked at that, I was like, oh, maybe it's.
It's misleading because it has division winner and then conference winner in like two separate tabs. But yeah, I had that thought. I was like, I'm going to get to the end of the season. This isn't going to pay out right away, is it?
As long as it pays. I mean,
you're all right. You're right.
Again, I don't.
Oh, I'm not worried about it, but
no one in the West is scary.
It makes a little bit more sense of why the number was so good. I was like,
minus 500, like it should be.
right. I was like, I don't know what these guys are doing. Thank you for the heads up, though.
And $2 from Vaguely Sober. Penn is not mightier than Snow Team. Got him. I want to make a Yinzer joke, but I don't know how many of you are watching the pregame. So
if he starts doing that again,
still
just shut the stream up. Yeah. We're all going fucking home.
So what is this again? This term is what?
Oh god.
So in certain parts of Pennsylvania, they use instead of y'all, they say yins, which is short for Ewins.
Okay.
So like if they're like yins going to the party tomorrow, or what phrases like that.
All right.
I think he's lying. But
I'm not. I swear to God, it's a real thing. I swear to you, it's real. Are the Avs getting what they want out of their bottom line competition right now? We already talked about Helm. Logan O'Connor had a nice feed to Helm for that point. We've talked about Cogliano. Not tonight, but the other game, you got a goal out of Knack. You're still expecting to get a lot of forwards back here.
Yep.
How do I want to put this? How easy is it going to be for Bednar to pick a bottom line when it comes down to it?
I mean, right now, it's not going to be because the guys that he was kind of trying to scare, it worked on. And now you're starting to see there is a very large competition at the bottom of the Avs forward depth that wants to keep their spot in the lineup, and they're trying to show it. I mean, I think, LOC hasn't been able to score, but what you're seeing from him is he's elevating his game. They are pests out there. If you watch that fourth line, my God, what an awful line to play against because you have no time and space. They're finishing checks. They're little gnats out there. They're just all over the ice, all over everybody.
Yep.
So for Bednar, I think this was a slam dunk.
Yeah. It's, again, building on what you just said there, if you're going based off today, like, I wouldn't want to be the coach that's to make that decision who's going to sit those guys out. And what you hope is that, again, pick two of those guys, right? You hope that when you do send those guys to the press box, that they are working their tails off in practice knowing or thinking like, all it takes is one bad game from one of these guys and I'm right back in the lineup. And then those guys that are in the lineup knows it only takes one bad game for me and fucking Darren Helm is right there, or whoever, pick your name. It's only good things.
Agreed.
Great problem to have.
Yeah.
$5 from Carson. Force of Nature versus Flightless Birds.
I love that.
Confirmed.
Love that.
Thank you for the 5, Carson. Much appreciated. I don't really have a ton else to say. Watching the Avs of late has just been a joy to watch. They've just been a really fun hockey team. The hockey has been really good. They've been in good games. They've been in blowout games both ways, and it's still fun. It's just fun.
Until the playoffs start now, it's like one of those things where you're just watching and waiting now.
Yep.
I mean, you've said your piece about this team. You kind of see what the product is. And like we were talking about tonight, now they just have to prove it in the postseason.
Mm-hmm. And, yes, they have to prove it in the postseason, but there's nothing left in the regular season. They've done it every way you can imagine. They've come back in games. They've held leads. They've done it on the power play. They've done it at 5-on-5.
Yep.
They've done it with goaltending. They've done it with depth scoring. They've done it with their stars scoring. They've literally done it all. As far as the regular season is concerned, it's literally just get through the last part of the season, get as healthy as you can, and get to the playoffs and go.
How crazy is it, though, like when you look at this team compared to the team last year, where people talked about that being one of the most talented teams that the Avs have ever put on the ice. And then you look at the style of play of last year's team versus this year's team with just some tweaks.
Yep.
But the way that they've like kind of grown their game, the ways that they win games now is totally different than it was last year, because last year what we always talked about was it's a one-dimensional team. If you figure out that formula, you can stop them.
Yeah.
This year it's like, oh, you figured out that formula? Well, check this lookout. Like, you're screwed.
It's seriously, I mean, it's what the Avs last year were really good at was forcing teams to play their style.
Absolutely.
And that was why they were so successful, because if you tried to play with the Avs last year, couldn't do it.
Beat you. Yeah.
Couldn't do it. But if you forced them out of their comfort zone, forced them to do something else, they struggled.
Yeah.
And again, I think that Vegas series does get a little overblown sometimes because, you know, in Game 3, you're a couple minutes away from going up 3-0. In Game 5, they probably should have won that one. So, but that aside, I really do think that part of the reason why that series kind of got away from them and felt like it got away so quickly was because they struggled to adapt within games. Vegas was kind of frustrating them, and they just couldn't force Vegas to you know, open things up. And to your point this year, Blais, they just
they'll play anyway.
Yeah.
They
right.
don't care.
They I think they still prefer let's play fast north-south, but you can't, you know, sludge it through the neutral zone with them anymore. You can't, you know, try the super hard forecheck, you know, almost kind of like man-on-man. It's just we're seeing teams constantly try something different and coming up short
And the Avs
again
just don't
and
care.
again
Yeah.
and again and again. And I can't remember what. I think it was the Tampa team from 2 years ago that I remember a lot of people really talking about that.
Where they'd win in any way.
Right.
It doesn't matter how
and
you
they'd
play.
almost even like let you set the pace.
And then they just do it better than
Yeah,
you.
yeah. And that's kind of, this Avs team has some
That's
shades
what
of
it
that,
feels like
where
this
it's
year.
like,
I
cool,
agree.
what do you want to play? Dope, we're better at that than you.
I agree.
We'll do
Full
that.
stop. Especially when they're healthy.
Yeah. And then, you know, with the addition of Manson, and regardless of what you think about him with McDermott, it's like, cool, you guys want to play mean, heavy on the wall,
Yep.
you know, nasty stuff after the whistle, we're down.
Yep.
Like, we'll do it. And that is why I still really liked the MacKinnon fight, was because it was just, to me, another show of, cool, you want to do it with our star players? They'll do it too. And guess what, Matt Dumba? They'll fucking kick your ass. Like,
Clearly, it doesn't matter. If you look at my Twitter, he's got quite a bit of tape on that finger, but he scored 2 goals tonight.
yeah,
so
looks
who
to be all
cares?
right. Looks to be all right.
Just fine in the end. So I'm good. Any final thoughts from either of you guys?
Avs are dope.
Yeah.
Avs are dope.
The upcoming weeks, awesome. The next 2 weeks, awesome. There is DU in the Frozen Four starting on Thursday. You've got a bunch of Avs games.
Yep.
Then next weekend, while Jesse's high up in his perch, not having any fun, we're going to be at Ball Arena having a time of our life. Maybe you can come down and join us for a little bit.
Even then, the
Never-
week after that,
never with you.
when the Avs have clinched the West and are playing for nothing, Colorado Eagles playoffs start.
That's right.
So
I really want to get up to Loveland
at least
for a
one of
playoff
those games.
game.
Yeah.
It's just so far.
It's not
It's
at all.
just
I make
so
that drive
far.
all the
I
time.
used to make-
Jesse,
but I
horrible
mean, you're
take.
really far from
Horrible
here.
take.
I used
It's
to make
all
that
this is a
drive
horrible
all the
take.
time.
30-minute drive. It's not that.
It is not
So
a 30-minute
Budweiser
drive.
Event Center. Now you're just outright lying.
If it is not a 35-minute drive.
It's 30, 40 minutes. He just casually adds
It's-
another 10 minutes.
With
It's like between 30 and 90 minutes. I don't know.
no.
After good.
Yahir, this is a
my
terrible.
God.
With the best traffic imaginable, it's maybe 50 minutes.
Well,
Maybe.
anything north of Longmont is construction.
Yeah.
Budweiser Event Center from right here where I'm sitting at 8:36 p.m. 54
Yeah,
minutes.
and that's like best situation.
That's almost double what you
When-
just quoted
if you
from
have-
right here.
If you have to take 270 during rush hour, it's 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
Yeah.
Like,
We do have the
Go to lunch, Yahir. Terrible.
You have the yin thing, by the way, so it is
Yeah,
You have a what?
Whatever the definition of yin is.
Yeah, I know.
Here in this .005 font for you guys to read.
Did you see how he just changed the
Yeah,
subject
yeah,
after
yeah.
you questioned the mileage?
after he was
But anyways, if you haven't
wrong.
been to an Eagles game at Budweiser Event Center,
dude,
go.
have
It's
to go.
super fun.
It's so dope.
Dylan Sakura, when he was up with the Avs earlier this year, was talking about the Eagles, and he's been a little bit of an AHL journeyman. He said, I think these are the most he said, I think he said craziest and most passionate AHL fans I've ever played in front of.
The
You
building
guys
is
should
nuts.
You should see the new building that they have proposed.
I know, it's insane.
It's got 3 sheets of ice. It's unreal.
They have like a whole shopping center plan.
Yeah, so it's
gonna
like
be a
yeah,
whole thing.
Yeah. It's kind of like a little Phoenix where they're building like a
Nice, sick.
the district, as it
the
were.
district for it.
Yeah, no, the Eagles do those games right, and the fans show out.
It's insane. The atmosphere there is genuinely amazing.
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
The atmosphere is like what you hear like cliche hockey
Yep.
games being like.
Yep, it's what it's like. So
It's awesome.
Anyway, we're getting out of here. We've gone off the rails. We appreciate all of you. We will talk to you tomorrow. Yeah, we're live tomorrow. We're off on Thursday. So tune in tomorrow for talk about how Keith Yandel is a bum or something. I don't know. We'll talk to you on the next one.